Dangerlings. My name's Colin Hubbard. Welcome to Danger Recall. Today we're talking about episode 27, The Passenger. 27, man. 27. If you're 27, give us a chat on the Discord. I don't know, I'm going to stop doing that for ages. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise we'll get up to like 120 and you'll be like, I can't message on Discord. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Anyway, I've got some guests here today. I've got with me Ross Harmston. How you doing, Ross?
Good.
What's that t-shirt?
Excited to be here.
Oh, sorry, mate. You're excited to be here, are you?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off. What's that t-shirt you're wearing?
It says, can we play D&D?
No, we cannot. We're doing Danger Recall right now, Ross.
Aww.
All right, maybe
Damn.
later. All right, let's forget Danger Recall. We're going to play D&D right now. Also with me, we got Scott Wilson Bestgrove.
Hail, Wanderer and Adventurer. Ross, that's a shout out to a popular TV show, isn't it? Because it's written in the font and it's said by a popular character in that TV show.
It is. If you can guess what that quote is from, then you get a brownie point.
A brownie point.
You know that there's now going to be people trying to track brownie points and what they've got in. Like you've just created a competition. Yeah. You're
Let them fight.
Dan, open up another spreadsheet. we need one to track the lamp thing. We need one to track the kills. We need one to track the tweet us. Tweet us is
brownie
pretty quiet,
points,
man. Brownie points. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And we have Dan Thompson.
Oh, I've got bestiaries to the left of me for tomorrow's DCP recording. I've got notes to the right of me for tonight's Dangerous Wednesdays, and I am thrilled to be here in the middle with you, Colin.
I like that. That's nice. Yeah. So I'm enjoying these Danger Recalls. This was recorded on the 2nd of the 12th. Released on the 2nd of the 12th, 18. I don't know when it was recorded. Probably in October on Scott's birthday. We got music from Kev. We got Sword Coast and Ross Bludgeon. How we've aptly named it. We should probably message Ross, shouldn't we? And we should tell him about Ross Bludgeon.
Yeah, we could do that. We could say, he'll probably say, thanks, subscribe to my Patreon.
Yeah, he probably will. And he'll probably say, hey, you're using my theme tune. I probably want some money from that, actually. Because you're using it far too much. We did talk, Dangerlings, about maybe making our own theme tune, so we didn't use someone else's, but we only talked about that 100 episodes in or so, and we thought by now, that's our theme tune, so we can't really change it.
That was drum, wasn't it? He wanted to make like a drum and bass sort of version.
He did. There was a conversation at the start of the project when we were going to do the podcast, and Drum said, "I'm going to create a drum and bass theme tune for the show." And I was like, "Okay, well we've got this Ross Bugden track. That's the placeholder one. Well, if you haven't got anything together by the time we launch, then we're going to use that one, and we'll just use it until you've got a chance to make the theme tune." And 125 episodes later, that is still our theme tune. But I can't imagine anything else now, especially now we've got the different versions for Recall and Wednesdays. It feels like home, that track now.
Yeah. We talk about MCM Comic Con in this episode, don't we, Ross?
Yes, we do.
Ross, sorry, I'll keep cutting you off, Ross. Sorry, mate. I'm joking.
It's all right. It's okay. We actually finally went to Comic Con, and this was our post, summary of what we thought and all the fun that we had.
Yeah. Have you got a little what's it called?
Summary?
You got a summary for this episode, have you?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Here we go. The club are travelling on the Biston Bear. Fulton bonds with Velder, and Velder gives Fulton the sickest burn ever. Caragor, whilst practicing a new move, has a chat with Gon at Bloodfist. Shania and Em find Ica hiding in the storeroom and agree to look after her. And the group realise they have to go through the Half-Light Path to get to Kermaga.
Ooh, the Half-Light Path. Yeah. What do we think of this episode? I love this episode. It's really nice. Loads of character work.
Moments.
Yeah, really cool moments here and there.
It's one of my favourites, actually, and one of the ones that we did the most kind of group prep for, I think. In terms of kind of knowing what was going to happen in the episode. There wasn't like it wasn't like kind of we sat down and scripted it, but it was one where I was like, okay, here is what is going to happen in this one. You're all going to get individual scenes. Some stuff is going to happen in the middle of it, and the only thing is, let's not trample each other's scenes. So don't walk into a scene unless there's a really good reason for it, or unless you're kind of invited in by the narrative, and just let the people who are in the scene have their moment and explore stuff, because I wanted to really just zoom in on individual characters and relationships and learn a bit about them. And I think that everyone just kind of gave each other space, and everyone let each other just tell their stories a bit, and I really like that for this one.
Yeah, it was really nice, wasn't it? I love this bit. We talk about MCM Comic Con, and someone shouted Carragher. So as we're walking through MCM Comic Con, we're all dressed up well. Most of us are dressed up. I'm not really. And someone went, Carragher! And we turn around and someone knew who you were. How did you feel, Scott, when someone recognised you as that character?
Yeah, that was mad. But wasn't it someone that we did actually know in the end?
Do you know what? It was Frantic Dare, wasn't it? It was quite.
It was either Fran or was it Raya?
Raya? I don't know if it was Raya, because who was Raya? I don't even know who that is. I'm sorry, Raya.
Our mate from the old London place that we used to work.
I know you, Raya. I'm sorry, Raya. I didn't.
I'm sure that it was someone that we knew in the end, because I think it would have. Otherwise, we would have. I'm 90% sure it was someone either we knew or was like a vague acquaintance of that then started listening to the podcast. I don't think it was a Dangerling, a fresh Dangerling. A fresh, new-faced, wet behind the ears Dangerling.
I thought it was Fran. I thought we were standing there and she went, Carragher one thing, and we went, my God.
It might well have been Fran as well. I'm just saying that Fran was already listening, I think, on board by that point.
Right. Okay.
Fran, big up to Fran Dare.
Oh my God, go and check out Fran Dare's art. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good.
I love looking through. I use the pictures of it when we put the schedules up on social media on Mondays. I always use background shots from those MCMs, and it's just like, I miss cons. There's one very, very important first from this MCM, and that is that this MCM, I believe, is the time when now regular Dangerling and moderator on our Discord, Candice, began listening to the show, because I was manning the Moon stand with her. She helped out selling the Moon comic, and she was just kind of, because we just all you guys were running around and I had the shirt on and we had flyers out, and she was like, what is this rubbish that you're doing, like what? And she was that dismissive of, like, she was like, I don't understand role-playing games, why would you play that, what's the, and I was like, I'll give it a listen, and she gave it a listen, and just as Candice does, got super into it and just listened to every single episode and every bit, and now is one of our most regular listeners and plays games with us every week. And yeah, so I think this was the day.
Big up Candice. Yeah. Big day. It's a big day for us.
There was so much stuff in that Comic-Con as well, because I've never been to one. And I was like, I am a Mr. I will buy everything that is branded for anything. If you know me, if there's a T-shirt with something that I like on it, I'm like, I need to buy that. Or if there's something else that's got something that, there's a mask. I love Jim Carrey the mask. There's a replica mask thing over there. Oh, it's £25. Yeah, I'm going to buy that, and it will just sit on my shelf and not do it. And what was the point? But I was like, and then I kept leaving the guys, because I was like, okay, I want to buy something, and I just need to walk around and just see. And I was literally gone for, I think, about an hour, just looking at all the stalls. But they're kind of all the same, really. They all sell the same stuff. It's like, it's just the same store with like figures and like other things like that, and then there's another one with figures and stuff, and like loads of stuff. But
you bought things from every single one of those. Ross was away for 1 hour, came back wearing Thor's cape, half a Gundam suit, carrying a Space Marine bolter, wearing Loki's mask.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I was just like overwhelmed. I was like, oh bloody hell! And by the end of it, I did get quite tired, because we got there quite early, I think, as well. And I was just like, oh, I'm so knackered. I know, and I only realised this when I'm really listening to it, that Drum wasn't wearing any pants.
His tip for going to the Comic-Con was to wear underwear.
Yeah, he didn't wear any underwear at the con, which is like, why the fuck didn't you wear underwear? Like,
we had a full-on photo shoot. We did a photo shoot at the con.
Yeah. And he had no pants on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh,
So if you ever met Drum at the con, he wasn't wearing any pants the entire time.
We also say that, like, if you wanted a personal appearance, we would have turned up. At that point in time, if you'd have said, please come to see me, we probably would have all turned up because we might have done. Now we can't.
We can't now, but don't get us wrong. At the next Comic-Con that we're allowed to go to, if you want a personal appearance by the Danger Club, we probably still would.
Yeah, we probably would, actually.
Can you come over to Section H? We've got can you stand next to this version of Rick Sanchez from Earth? Yeah, fine. Yeah, we'll do
sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Apart from Ross, he's buying some stuff.
Scott, you sorry, Colin. I just wanted to ask, Scott, you met Sam Riegel as well. I know it was very brief, and you got a photo with him.
Did, yeah.
Do you still are you still into?
Are you still in touch with him, or?
We chat. We exchange tips about how to derail a gaming session by inserting a song and then changing the song's things into the lyrics that are appropriate to the. No, I obviously don't keep in contact with him, which is a damn shame. But it was still quite weird. I do listen every now and then. Critical Role is one of those things I go and dip back into. I watch a few episodes and I'm like, this is insane. I can't watch all of this. This is crazy. No person ever can. And anyone who says is lying. Like the people who say they've completed Dark Souls or Pathfinder Kingmaker. No one actually has. All right, this is stupid. And then months will go by, and then I come back to it. I'm like, I'd love to watch that over dinner. I'll just have lunch. I'm going to watch a little bit of Critical Role. This is it. Yes, lovely. Let's settle in again. And by nature of the thing, across those two shows, obviously even being mildly present on social media, you have had spoilers by now, but that's just the thing. You learn to enjoy it in a different way. That's the thing that it's a monolith. You're not going to be able to not be spoiled if you follow that show and you haven't completed every single episode. It's just a thing that happens. But yeah, I do dip back into it every now and then.
I think I got to episode 16 of season 1, and then I just lost it, and I was like, I've still got it on my tablet waiting.
I got to episode 16 of season 2. I'm on episode 64 now of season 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've just gone to the Feywild.
Nice.
They've done a lot, haven't they?
They've done a gargantuan amount. And what's happened naturally is that obviously loads of other good shows have come along. So now there's people being like, yeah, but have you watched all of Dimension 20 with Brendan Lee Monaghan and all those guys? Have you watched Not Another D&D podcast, streaming show stuff? And it's there's so many other good ones now that I'm never going to be able to complete. I'm never going to be able to watch them all.
I gave up kind of when we started doing this show, because now especially with the Patreon shows, we're producing 2.5 to 3 hours of content a week that I listen to during the week it comes out anyway, just so you can kind of be in the same place as the Dangerlings for what they're listening to. And it's that's just our own show. That's stuff we were in, and then add on other shows that you listen to, and it's just oh my goodness, a 4-hour show on top of that.
That's why I gave up watching things on Netflix. Just got rid of Netflix and Disney Plus. It's because our stuff came out. No point watching stuff anymore.
I watch bloody wrestling, and that's enough time in the week. Dan sort of just watches one show called AEW, but I'm still watching Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays of wrestling, and they're all 2 hours long.
What's wrong with you,
mate? When do you sleep?
I'm on a group chat with Ross about wrestling, and Ross hates all the wrestling he'll just come on the thing and be that 11 hours of wrestling I watched this week was rubbish, and it's oh my god, why?
I'm a glutton for punishment.
A glutton for punishment. That's right. If that's not a creature we can fight in the next game, Dan, a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, right. All right, look,
I'm a glum for
back to the episode. Look, we big up Critical Role quite a bit. We talk about drums, no underwear. We do some egg puns, which I love. They are smashing. That's probably my pun that I used, actually. I can't even remember. We do the Dangerlings song again. Dangerlings. I might record that properly. I think I've been talking to you about it, Ross. Try and record that properly and get us both singing it. That'd be really good. We tweet us Nietzsche and Plato again. Those are the only two. And Stephen King at the moment. Those are the only 3 that we've tweeted to. We haven't really got into the tweet us.
We started
yet.
So highbrow, didn't we? Stephen King, Nietzsche, and Plato. God, we devolved.
Yeah, we really do. We're still on the best, and Shania and M just chilling. They hear a sound of a thump. Now, I want to talk about this sound effect. I think this is the first time it's not very good. I do a little thump. I think I made this sound effect. If I remember correctly, I just hit my desk. and then put a bit of reverb on it. And I don't think I put my heart and soul into it. I was like, that'll do.
None of us can comment on this, Cole, because either we agree with you and go, yeah, that sound effect was rubbish, or we disagree with you and say, no, there were plenty of other rubbish sound effects before this one, Cole, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah. Or you
I
boost
didn't
my
notice
ego
it being
too
bad.
much and I just get loads of shit sound effects. Yeah, let's not do it. We do the cop drunk thing, or drunk cop. I love the squeaky door though. I redeemed myself on the squeaky door. I think the sound effect
Nice.
there was really good. And there's a note from the chef having a go at MZ again. And we do this, and then we see these fingernail scratches, which is obviously we saw those because it was the ghost of the ship, and I understand that now, so it doesn't matter. I put down here in my notes whose were they, but it doesn't matter because it was a ghost ship with no
All
time
agreeing.
travel. Racking my brains for 2 years, Dangerlings. Anyway,
It was,
meanwhile.
wasn't them, it was Scruffy and Fleabag were using it as a scratching post.
Yeah. We're going to talk about them quite soon, aren't we? Meanwhile, Velder and Fulton with the Gearwright brothers, a bit of a backstory, which is great. Your backstory, Ross.
Yes, my backstory.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah. All my backstories revolve around having daddy issues, or maybe something around like that sort of thing. I don't know. It's maybe a theme. And yeah. I mean, it was quite cool to like reveal it, and also talk to another fellow dwarf in the ship, which was nice. And then Dan made me feel really rubbish about my choice of leaving home, because he just reminded me when, your dad must be pretty upset about that. And I was like, yeah, he must be. Huh.
You understand that I am not the characters in this fictional world, Ross.
Yes,
Are you
you are.
picturing my face on every single NPC
Yeah.
you meet?
You've got some prosthetics, like to make your nose a bit bigger. And So yeah.
I
Thanks,
think
Dan.
it was interesting talking. I wanted to get you thinking about family, because Fulton had been kind of thinking about his relationship to the rest of the group and how that all fits in. And because you'd kind of had this whole thing of leaving home, and I wanted to look into that. Okay, how is that different for a dwarf? How would more traditional dwarves view Fulton's decision on that, and sort of getting like that? I find it. And also because I kind of knew that something bad was probably going to happen in Caermarga, because it was going to be a step up danger-wise. And so I was like, let's start getting this idea of family going. Let's start getting this idea that you guys are a family, and start you thinking about that. I think it's really interesting that Berenger brings up that he's just lost his brother, and so he feels that Fulton should think about family and should be, and that's his catalyst for thinking about it himself. I think that's really interesting kind of to reflect on.
Yeah. Because he doesn't I don't think he thought about that, and I don't think he thinks that. When he left, I don't think he thought anything of it. Like he didn't think of the repercussions really. He just wanted out. And he didn't really think about his brothers or his dad. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
And then we have possibly the best Velder leaves.
Yeah, I know. Little
Really good,
bastard.
like so funny. Like James just smashed it there. Have to say, it was a really comical moment. And then we go up to the deck, and Caragor's in the rain. I like that sound effect as well, with the rain on the deck. That's kind of nice, and you still hear the boat sounds. And then you're doing the thing on the deck, aren't you, Scott? You're doing the thing about the moment you killed the guy in the warehouse. You're going, oh yeah, parry. Oh yeah, take that. Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was just it's just doing a little joke to reference something there, as if Caragor had learned a new move just then, how to
Do you know what? I read that as kind of like a bit dark, like that you had some sort of regret in there, actually, that like spoiler warning for Breaking Bad, so skip ahead 30 seconds if you've never seen it. Where he strangles the guy that he's caught in the basement in episode 4, I think it is, and then later on the guy always liked his sandwiches with the crusts cut off, and then later on Walter White cuts his crusts off his sandwiches. I thought it was a bit like that maybe you were kind of
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't think at that point Caragor's got a regret about what he did. That was like a battle move thing in the heat of the battle. So though he wouldn't necessarily looked at that badly. He would have looked at honing his skills in order to further that. I was just sort of paying homage to the group at that point, being like, everyone recognised that as a funny bit, so I'm going to point that out as it's stuck with Caragor. But yeah, there might be other times. There's other times I can think of up ahead in the hazy future where Caragor might have had a regret, but not at this particular moment. It's not like he just like got a guy to put his weapons down and went, "No, I'll kill him." It's not like he did that.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask, Horrocks, did we make this up? Did you make that up, Scott?
I did, yeah. I think I might have talked about it briefly on the episode before, but with TTRPGs and games and stuff like that, when they have like there's half elves and half orcs and stuff like that, and the half orcs usually get a bit of a rough time with it. Like in TTRPGs, it's a bit like, yes, they're created from it's a mean thing that happened, and then no one likes them and stuff like that. So therefore, I just think like the half in that becomes a bit derogative. That's right.
Derogative. Stick with it, man. Yeah,
I will.
Derogative.
Yes.
Damn it, I shall never forget this day. But yeah, so I just figured that instead, like a group of forward-thinking half-orcs got together, because Caragor doesn't come from like one half. His mum wasn't an orc and his dad wasn't a human.
Sure.
It was.
Yeah.
It comes from a half-orc family. So why would you see yourself as a half of something? I mean, it's a bit different maybe with half-elves, because in TTRPG terms, half-elves are super privileged. They are good-looking. They get the best things of every race. Like everyone likes them. But yeah, with half-orcs, it's a bit of a thing. So I thought, how could you compress that? And then I used some fantasy bullshit. I'm like, just compress the word and see what would come out in easy conversation with people. It's like that sounds right. Like they just start doing that. I'm not sure if Caragor's been the best ambassador for Horrocks, or indeed if anyone else has taken on. But interestingly enough, this conversation then happens. So
I like
that was kind of the whole point of this scene. Really, was kind of that's why Caragor gets one with an NPC rather than with another player character. Not just because of the imbalance in numbers. Like, I wasn't going to do just like Caragor and Philippe, but. Like, it's because like the Horrocks thing was just so fascinating, and one of the bits of Caragor's backstory that I really liked. And I know we sort of touched on it, and I was like, this can be the point where you can be like, let's explain that, let's make that a because I think he'd said it in passing to her, to Garnock in a previous episode. So it's like, great, there's a chance to kind of look at this really interesting and really unique to this show philosophy and kind of bring that up, and then throw in a little bit of spice in that, you know, she's empty hand, maybe there's a connection there.
I liked all the empty hand backstory. I liked all that. That was really good. I like the drinking bit as well. That's kind of nice, where she pulls out a little flask and stuff.
It's interesting, like going forward with the Horrocks stuff and what's potentially happening in Belkzen because of maybe the edition shift and perhaps some law change that happened over there. Like the idea that we might get an ever so slightly, tinily more progressive version of an orc homeland to couple in with this new, you know, terminology, perhaps like language change as much as culture change. Do you know what I mean? So those things can match each other on a population graph or something like that. Perhaps.
Yes, it's nice.
I like Dan's approach when he comes up to Caragor and he goes, "What's that move? The arseholes who don't want to be friends move," or something. That was a good line. I like that.
See, Caragor probably would have mocked that instantly and then gone home to write it down. Caragor's not that smart. Do you know what I mean?
Now, I don't know about you, but moving back to M and Shania, that as soon as there was a noise, as a player, I thought that's going to be Ica. I just thought, oh, you know what? That's going to be a cool move. If that is Ica, that's brilliant. And then as soon as Dan mentioned that it was Ica, I was like, yeah, Ica, yeah, that's cool. I thought it was a really nice thing to do there. Dan, good. Well done, mate.
Yeah, it was interesting bringing her back, because it's kind of, at that point, I'm still looking for bridges between what we now think of as season 1 and season 2, between kind of Ilsurian and Kaer Marga. I'm looking for things that will make it one story rather than just a clean break and then let's do something else.
Yeah.
And Ica was a nice kind of just something that you could hold on to from the first one. You were going to have to protect her, and there was this mystery over her abilities, and there was sort of stuff there. And also she's an interesting character in that she's never been a fan favourite. Like, you never hear Dangerlings being like, oh, Ica was great, we want more of Ica. But you guys loved her. and you guys always wanted her to, like, you guys always reacted well when she was in the story, and were always drawn to trying to help her and protect her. And so I was like, okay, combine this with kind of your slightly on and off relationship with Travis, plus her relationship with Travis. I was like, there's drama in that. There's a whole family drama here. And given that this episode is about family, this is a good time to bring her in, and this is something that we can kind of play with through the next series to kind of keep this thread going.
I love it when she's really freaked out. M's like, one voice.
Yes.
And then everyone tries to speak at the same time. Now, this is, again, going back to me working with young people, Dangerlings. When you find a young person in crisis, quite a good thing to do is to just have one voice speaking. If you've got 2 or 3 people going, hey, listen, then it's very, very confusing. So what a little technique you can use is if someone is struggling and doing that, just be the only person to speak to them so they can concentrate on your voice. It's a really good thing to do when someone is having a certain crisis. So that's why I was saying that. I was just going back into my training and I was going one voice, and then we all tried to speak at the same time. It's quite funny. I love that. That was good. Ica spells, Shania screams and runs away, like gets out of there for a little while. The rest of the team, Velder calls Travis Trevor.
Yeah.
Such a dick move. It's so funny. And he keeps doing it, doesn't he? He calls him Trevor like twice or 3 times or something. I
don't know if that's James or Velder. That's the when he roleplay. I'm like, is that just James forgetting names? Because he's all right. But when it comes to names, he just gets one letter of the name wrong or a way to pronounce it, and you're like, is that Velder or is that actually just James?
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. It could be either. Yeah, it could be either.
Bless him.
I like this when Travis is waking up as well, and like Shania's trying to wake up Travis, and he's like, no, I don't want any yak's milk. And then he says, no, Shania, I don't want any fish. like he just thinks Shania's just going to bring him fish.
It's like this ongoing kind of storyline across both series of Travis's just growing trauma of just knowing you guys that kind of starts in episode 1, and it just, by this point, it's just deep rooted. It's just in his psyche now.
Yeah, I love that. So good. So we also mentioned, like, Travis mentions that, that Caremargo is a death trap. And I think we've heard it's kind of dangerous, but we've not really heard this yet, that it's a death trap, that it's a really dodgy place to go. So yeah, that's quite interesting that none of us picked up on that at the time. We have a little Scarface reference. Shania says, say hello to your little friend.
Nice. That was good.
Yeah, I love that. That was really good. And then, Shania preempts the chat that they're about to have. She sort of says, look, we're going to have a chat at some point, and then I'm going to go to bed now. I think that's really nice. Kind of setting up that chat that spoiler warning for next episode. But yeah, the chat that they're going to have together.
So it's a nice one. That chat was really fun to do. We'll talk about that next week. We
talk about the boat and the auction, and we try and work out the whole, time travel thing, which isn't time travel, thanks, Dan. And we find out at the end of the episode that we have to go up the Half-Light path. Ooh.
So what was the Storval Rise? Is that just outside on the cliff? Like, no, you just walk up.
Do you want to talk about it next week, because that's where we arrive at the cliffs themselves?
Yeah, that'll probably
there's
be
kind of confusion
better
about it. Okay,
yeah,
I'll describe the whole setup.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's a really nice ending as well. Thinking like we could have gone up the safe path, and now we can't. We have to go up the slightly more dangerous one. Yeah,
it's
good.
Always nice.
I liked it. Good episode. Good character backstories there. Really nice. I loved it. Don't know about you, Dangerlings. Let us know what you think. I don't know if we're going to have any links to share, but let us know if you want us to share anything. Get on the Discord and chat to us. We are always here.
Within a game, put 2 characters together, give them a subject, let them talk. and just see what stuff develops. It's a lovely technique, and it's the best. Like many of the best moments in role playing games, it's one where the GM basically does nothing. You just put the characters in the room and you let them generate story.
Yeah, good tip,
it's
man.
Lovely.
Good tip there. I like that. Yeah, it's good. You find out a lot of stuff as well, don't you? You know, yeah, those little fireside chats. So nice one. Do that in your games, Dangerlings.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, thanks for being here.
Oh, Colin, thanks for having me here.
Oh, God, you're welcome. Ross, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for being here.
And Scott, thank you for being here.
Once more I unfold back into the nether regions of the universe.
Love it. Yeah. Take care, Dangerlings. We love you. Bye.
Stay safe, guys. Bye.